Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Noah Lovu broadcasting live again from the great state, the great country, out there somewhere in the universe. So, for those who are joining us for the first time, please guess where we are. You're watching me from, and where I am up here on. I'm on a different planet today, so. Today, we are continuing the conversation around Kuchalo. I have my co-host, Mr. Jimmy Katuta, and also we have a special guest who is joining us from the UK, somewhere in the UK. So let's bring up our panelists, and then we'll get the conversation going. So Mr. Katuta, greetings, sir.
Greetings to you too, sir. How are you?
I I am good here. It's morning on my end here. I know it's evening on your end that side.
Yes.
So, Twambo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit. Where are you in the UK?
I'm in London.
London. Oh, okay. How long have
Yeah,
you been there?
37 years.
37 years.
Mhm.
You've pretty much. Was it Margaret Thatcher when you moved up there? Margaret Thatcher, was she the prime minister?
Yeah, I think, yes, it was. Yeah,
Okay,
it's been
because I think
so long.
Margaret Thatcher. Then is it John Mayer? Was it John Mayer?
Major.
John Major, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, every time when I think of Margaret Thatcher, John Mayer, it kind of like reminds me of that show. Yes, Prime Minister used to come up. You remember the show, Mr. Gatut?
I do. Yes,
Yes, Prime Minister. Yeah,
I do.
it's a funny show. So there's a lot happening all around us, and we are just having a conversation to share some thoughts on the happenings around the world. Right now, as we speak, I think earlier today, the Kuomboka ceremony was happening. Is it a one-day thing? I don't know, Mr. Gat, do you know anything about the Kuomboka ceremony? Is it a one-day thing, or it's sort of a few days
Well,
celebration?
I believe that, and I've been catching it. It's all over social media, so I've been seeing it here and there. I believe I think it's a 3-day event, because I think it was yesterday when there was the drumming where the king opened the
Mhm.
ceremony with the drumming. That was very exciting. I don't know if you had a chance to see it on social media. Very exciting to watch the king, as vibrant as he is and energetic, beating the drum. They said that's how the ceremony is opened. And I believe today our president is there now. So I imagine it will be over by Sunday, and
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, it's a very big festival, very big. I'm just learning about it myself.
Yeah. I think next time we'll plan a little bit better in terms of having some representation so that at least we can be on the ground taking pictures and sharing in real time. Because I think things like that are things that we miss being in the diaspora. Well, what's your take, Twambo, on the ceremony?
From what I remember, wasn't it when they sort of move to higher ground? They didn't want the floods or something. I think that was Kuomboka, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the
Right,
one.
right.
Yeah. I can't remember, but I think it's they were avoiding the flood, so they went up a mountain or something. But then I've never known what it's all about.
Yeah,
Uh,
because
And,
I think
and,
like.
and like you,
Mhm.
Twambo, I'm just learning about it because
Mm,
I've been in the diaspora about 34, 35 years. So you have me beat by 2 years.
mm.
So this is something that we used to read about or study in school.
Yeah,
But
I
as
remember that from
yeah,
school,
yeah.
primary school.
So
Mm,
yeah, so it's a Lozi tradition, and the
Mhm.
Lutunga, who is the king of the Lozi, this is my understanding. He goes when it's raining. He goes on higher ground to avoid being
yeah,
flooded.
I remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
remember
then
that
when
bit.
the rains are over, then he travels back, and that's when you got all these boats and all these big. It's just a big festivity, and there's this particular year, and I imagine that because of the relationship that has been created, the coalition of African unity, which I believe is headed by President Hakainde Hichilema, where
Mm-hmm.
you have unity forming between Zambia, Ghana, Botswana. So now you have this blogger who is a Ghanaian blogger, and he's just doing a massive presentation of the event. And I've heard that I saw that there's some dancers, a popular dance group from Botswana that has also come all the way from Botswana to participate in the festivities. So it's been pretty exciting, and I think I'm going to make it a point, Brother Noah, to be there next year.
Yeah. Because yes, I've seen Ghanaians. They are blogging, streaming, talking about it. And for us as Zambians, I think this is something that we need to make sure at least we are doing everything possible. This is part of the reason why we do programs like this. Because for instance, the kids who are born in the diaspora, and some of us, you find that some of us are blank about our own culture, our own history. So this speaks volume, and there's need. This is why I say we need to do what we can in terms of having representation on the ground when these ceremonies are happening. Because I think earlier it's beginning of this month or last month. No, I think it's the first week of March when the Nchwala ceremony for the Easterners was happening. So it's important, I think, for us as a people to make sure that we are recording, capturing these things to pass on to even the next generation. So I think we're going to take a short break and then we'll be right back. We have other guests who are coming up in the program. But yeah, so Kuomboka ceremony. It's I have before I go, there's a friend of mine whom I had requested. She is Lozi to be on the program. So I don't know if she'll be able to make it, but I reached out to her like, hey, we are talking about your people. So why don't you show up and share some thoughts? So we'll be right back. And for those who are joining us, if you know something about the Kuomboka ceremony happening right now, please write up a comment on your end there, and then we'll be able to share it on our screen. So what do you know about the Kuomboka ceremony? So sit back, relax, and they'll be right back.
Welcome to Kuchalo, your leading online hub for Zambians at home and abroad. Kuchalo is a trusted source of news, lifestyle, and practical information tailored for Zambians near and far. What we are: a platform designed by Zambians for Zambians and friends of Zambians. Tight-knit, inclusive, and Ubuntu-powered. We bring you the latest news, travel and tourism insights, investment opportunities, educational resources, and uplifting diaspora stories. A community-focused, non-political space celebrating our heritage. What we offer: community stories, diasporans making an impact, a bias-free zone, calm, factual, resonance over sensationalism. Our approach is Ubuntu first, content that strengthens community, celebrates heritage, and brings people together. Clarity, relevance, and inclusivity. Voices from Zambia and the global Zambian family, where you'll find us in Zambia, the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, South Africa, and everywhere in between. Kuchalo keeps you informed, connected, and inspired. Join the Kuchalo community today.
Yes, join the Kuchalo community to stay in touch with us, to stay plugged in with our events and all the good things coming your way. So continuing our conversation, we have a panel of Mr. Jimmy Katuta, and we have Twambo all the way up there in the UK. So what is happening in the UK in terms of Zambian circles? Are there a lot of Zambians in the UK, Twambo?
Yeah, there are quite a number.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about what are some of the things that Zambians do in the UK? Oh, what do you like to do? What do you like to do? You've been there for 37 years.
I know. I don't even remember half the things I do. We have the kitchen parties from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not many get-togethers like you have in America.
Okay. So in terms of numbers, like are there in the hundreds or thousands of Zambians in the UK?
I wouldn't know. I'm sure there's a good number.
There's a good number, right?
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I think for the UK, I think the US obviously is a massive country, and there are countless. Okay, yeah. So there are countless people in the UK. Mr. Katuta, would you have a general idea the Zambians in the in the US? Because I think it's in the hundreds of thousands, or maybe few thousands. What's your take?
I would say that I would, and obviously I'm guessing here because we don't really have a census to track the population, but I would say at least 20,000 across the US. I would say at least.
Yeah, because it could be, because I think you don't get to have hundreds of thousands, I think, of Zambians across. Because I remember I was talking to a lady, in New Zealand, and then I was asking her, "Hey, how many Zambians?" Because she's been there for more than 20 years, and then she says she only knows of one. Now you can
Wow.
imagine she's been there
In
for
New
more than
Zealand,
20
huh?
years. Yes, in New Zealand. So I think there's a good number of folks in the UK, especially, I mean, South Africa. And I think lately we've been seeing a lot of Zambians going to China and Russia because I think I read somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, the Russian government has removed the visa restriction, the free travel to Russia. Is that the case? Have you heard anything like that?
Yes, I have. I have visa-free entry into Russia.
Mhm.
And the relations between Zambia, China, and Russia are pretty on the good side, in good terms, if you will. So I imagine that they've relaxed a lot of these immigration requirements for Zambians to go into Russia and China, because especially China is doing a lot of business with Zambia, and not just Zambia, with Africa in general.
Mhm.
So the more the U.S. sort of turns its back on Africa, the more these other countries open up to Africa. So it's like a battle. It's like a battle of Africa. There's a want to make sure that where the U.S. drops the ball, which in my opinion, they're dropping the ball in Africa. China and Russia are picking it up and running with it. So it's just a matter of time before, and obviously we're all looking forward to Africa being totally independent, self-sustaining, and making sure that we trade within our country, our continent rather, make sure that whatever exports, imports, trade, whatever is done within Africa. That is why these alliances that are being formed
Mhm.
within Africa are so welcome. And I know you will share something about that, Brother Noah. But I had a question for our sister here. What? Tell me about your life in the UK, because we get a lot of people, especially now that I'm in Zambia. I get a lot of people asking me questions to say, would you advise me to go to the US or the UK? And I can't speak to the UK. I can speak about the US because obviously of my experience. What would you tell young Zambians that are looking to move to the UK? What kind of advice would you give them? And would you encourage them to do that? Or would you, like me, tell them to stay at home and make our country better?
Mm, that's a difficult one. Mm. Well, I mean, the British have the same syllabus as the one we had back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a British English. So, but but I think the younger Zambians tend to want to go to the United States. I don't know if there's more opportunities there.
But as far as economic gain for them, because the reason most most of us travel abroad is obviously because we're looking for a better life, and making sure that we are given an opportunity to where our earnings can support our families back home. And I know in the US it's pretty easy to do that, but I don't know much about the UK. I know there are a lot of nurses or people in the health industry that are moving to the UK. So I don't know what kind of, is it easier to buy a house there? Is it easier to buy a car? How does that work?
It is easy to get a house, but I mean, outside London is a lot cheaper. London is so expensive. As you know, London is one of the most expensive cities.
Mhm.
So it's even transport wise, it's just expensive. I don't know how
Right.
we manage sometimes. Yeah, it is expensive. But at least the transport system compared to America is a lot more. You don't really need a car in London.
Right. It's
Just
like
Yeah,
New
travel by
York.
train. Yeah, just
It's
the
like New
train
York. You
system.
don't need a car, right?
Mhm.
no, I mean the buses, the underground, the overground, all very smooth. So sometimes having a car is just a burden.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, unlike over there in the US here, in certain parts you need to have a car. Without the car, it's like you can't really do much. Because obviously
Mm.
the US is a vast, big country.
Mm.
And they say everything is big in Texas. If you're in Texas, you want to be driving a huge pickup, the Silverado or Ford pickup, and listening to some country music and all that stuff. But yeah. In the UK, I was in the UK. I think in 2023, passed through there. I stayed, spent like 3 days. I was 3 days in the UK in 2023. I had missed my connection flight, and then something mechanical had happened to the plane. So they say, hey, just check yourself out, and we'll say you can send us the bill or reimburse. And they sure after 2 weeks or so they were able to send me some money. So yeah, I had to spend 2 3 days in the UK. So now moving on a little bit, for you, Twambo, you've been there. So would you encourage people to migrate and try out life in the diaspora, or have them sort of focus on the home front?
Well, it's a lot harder now to come into the UK. It made things tougher.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But I think things are so much better back home nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. So sometimes it's not advisable to leave the country for the young ones.
Yeah, because I was on the program some time back, and then I was encouraging, or not necessarily discouraging, but I was advising people that they are in a better space. It's very lonesome in the diaspora.
Mm.
And asking people to stay put, focus on where they are. You find that sometimes you get a pushback. People say, hey, but you are there.
Right.
Mm.
You are there. And how come you are discouraging us, or you are uh, saying something that doesn't encourage people to relocate? Because times are different, and knowing what we know, some of us, we say we are no wonder they say there's no place like home, because when you're home, you can pretty much walk anywhere, feel free, blend in, and just not really be bothered about anything. But sometimes it's just unfortunate that people don't seem to heed the advice or suggestion. They will say, oh, no, you are just preventing us. You don't want us to be like you. But say, no, we are encouraging you. But do you get that type of also vibe or tremble from people?
Mm. Not so much, no. No. I think sometimes they do realize that, it can be quite lonely.
Mhm.
Right.
And like you're so used to having in Zambia noise, you can speak to the neighbor. And like
Yeah.
here, people just sort of stick to themselves.
Mhm.
So if
Yeah.
you're that type whereby you like to hear a lot of noise and socialize, I think a lot of people miss that part.
Mhm. Oh, I
Exactly.
definitely missed that. Definitely missed that. At least I envy Mr. Katuta there. He's obviously seeing some women selling some things by the corner, walking around, just a
Yeah.
typical Zambian scenario. Is that
Mhm.
right,
Yes.
Mr. Katuta?
You know what I'm enjoying, guys? What I'm enjoying the most is getting fresh vegetables. You know,
Mm.
Mhm.
getting fresh vegetables. So I drive out of my yard and turn around the corner and they have fresh tomatoes, fresh onions, all
Mhm.
kinds of vegetables, green peppers and all that. And I buy, and you don't need to buy in bulk. So you stock them and then, they go bad. I buy them every 2 days,
Mhm.
and they're fresh. And
Organic.
also, right. And also like you, Tuambo, I've experienced this loneliness that we talk about in the diaspora that most people don't understand.
Mm.
Where you say, like I was last show we had, I was talking to our audience and I was saying, in Las Vegas, where my home is, I've lived there for 7 years, and I don't know my neighbors to my right or to my left. I've
Mm.
Yeah.
never met. Maybe once in a while, I would find each other coming home at the same time. As you're pulling in the garage, they wave at you, you wave at them. Maybe you meet at the on the day of the trash collection. Maybe
Mhm.
you're bringing your trash can out, you see them, you wave, but no words exchanged for seven
Mm.
years. And I get this pushback that Brother Noah is talking about from people. They say, how can you be telling us to stay home when after you lived in America, you lived all the luxurious life? Let us also enjoy it. Don't be a hater, they tell me. You live your life, let us go. And I'm like, you don't understand. The
Mm.
circumstances that led to my leaving Zambia very different than what you have now. The Zambia that I left, and I'm sure you as well, Tom, but when we left Zambia, we were lining up to buy things, sugar, cooking oil, right? The
Mm.
economy was so bad. And because we wanted a better life, we moved away. But now Zambia is beautiful. I don't know when was the last time you came here, Tuambo, but it is.
July last year.
You were here last year.
Yeah, July.
There you go. So you've
Mhm.
seen the change, the difference, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I was
beautiful.
last there before COVID, so I do visit
Okay,
quite often. Yeah.
okay. And when you visit, where do you go? Do you come to Lusaka or Copperbelt
Oh,
or?
no, no, no. I'm from Lusaka. I was born in the Copperbelt, but raised in Lusaka. So we live in McKinney. We got a farm there.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a family
Well,
home, so.
are you considering coming back home to retire like I did, or no?
Well, my daughters are here. I've got two daughters here.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'm not thinking of my retirement yet.
okay.
I'm
Mhm.
getting there.
Yeah.
Retirement age is 67. Yeah, I'm 60.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So some of us retired early, but when we came here, we found ourselves out of retirement because I
Mhm.
came here and I found there's too much work to do here. So now
Mm.
I'm back working again, just making sure that I do what I can to at least point people in the right direction as far as investments are concerned. We have a lot of people in the diaspora that we've created relationships with over the years that are looking to invest in Zambia. And so I find myself in a lot of these meetings. I sit on a few boards where we give direction on what areas we think are best to invest in. And then, of
Mm.
course, people here that are looking for opportunities abroad. So that's what put me out of retirement. And then there's Brother Noah here who insisted that I
Mhm.
co-host this show with him, even though I told him, I said, I'd like to rest on Saturdays. He said, no, you
Mhm.
can't rest.
Mhm.
That time is not here yet.
Yeah,
But
there's so much wake out there.
yes, yes.
All right, so we're gonna take a short break. We'll play a beautiful song by Chimuka about Kuchalo, and when we come back, we have a guest joining us from Germany, Mr. Evans Lukomona. So sit back, relax, enjoy this classic track by Chimuka called Kuchalo.
They call me Chimuka ML, a voice for the voiceless. Miko, station, hey, we got more at the future generation. We do this for the culture, proud as a nation. We aim going global, this is elevation. Came from the bottom to build motivation. We aim for the stars, no limitation. Together we can rise, pure dedication. We sucker to the world, a strong foundation. We push every day for the big celebration. Proud every day for the culture. We are one, everybody capture. A press for the hustlers, we don't need a voucher. We push every day for the bag with sculpture. We broke all the chains, now we are free. We're chasing our dreams, we are meant to be. Back to back, now we can see. One by one, now together you and me. Yeah.
Welcome to Lusaka. Welcome to Lusaka. Welcome to Lusaka. Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. Welcome to Lusaka. Welcome to Lusaka. Welcome to Lusaka. Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. Eh. Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. Eh. Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. Eh. Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. 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 Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. Eh. Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. Eh. Iwe Zambia Kuchalo. Kuchalo. Chasing goals, making flows, kill the pen, we just want yours. We pushing hard, wanna do the most. Work every day for the bag, of course. Pull up every day and we know they forget. I just wanna go to the top 11. Zambia Kuchalo, we gonna be the best. Every day my pal on my team too blessed. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Many people count on me. What you see, God is waking up for me. Zambia Kuchalo, we never gonna rest. Zambia Kuchalo, we gonna be the best. Zambia Kuchalo, we gonna see the check. Zambia Kuchalo, we live for blessed. Eh, you Zambia Kuchalo. Eh, you Zambia Kuchalo. Eh, you Zambia Kuchalo. Kuchalo, Kuchalo. You Zambia Kuchalo. Eh, you Zambia Kuchalo. Eh, you Zambia Kuchalo. Kuchalo, Kuchalo. I feel blessed, I feel nice. God is changing my life. One day things will be fine. Like the stars I will rise. Welcome to my city. Everybody here looking pain, looking pretty. Never giving up, I can sing all day. Blessings now just come my way.
All right, people, we are back. That was a great song by Chimuka Kuchalo. Talking about the diasporians, we are connecting Zambians with the diasporians out there in the world. And now we have Mr. Evans joining us from, tell us where you're joining us from, Mr. Evans.
Good. Is it evening, morning there? Here we in the late afternoon, 17:37. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, lady and gentlemen there. I've been following the past 5 minutes. Awesome program. Thank you so much, Mr. Noah. I'm joining from Germany, Hamburg region.
Oh, good. How long have you been there?
Oh, I've been in Germany for the past 18 years almost.
Oh, okay, okay. And are there a lot of Zambians out there?
Exactly.
It's a bunch of Zambians out there?
You know, like not so much. You can't believe it that maybe around Hamburg, we should be even less than 30.
Oh,
Less
Wow.
than 30. So sometimes when we hold meetings for Zambians and friends, we find that, there are less Zambians than, foreign friends that come to join our parties or gatherings. That's how much fewer we are. What I came to figure out is that probably because of our colonial system by Great Britain, lots of Zambians don't know much about Germany, so they just pass through and go and settle, like you guys are in the US, England and stuff. Even myself, I was just enrolled, coming to settle in California. I gave myself like 4 weeks, 5 weeks in Germany. I was just like, wanted to figure out this, Hitlerian country or land they talk about, the racism. Let me drop and have a feeling. And not knowing this is where my destiny was, looking at, what I do in life, I really loved it. And here we are. I am.
that's good. That's good. Good. Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the Ghanaian president approaching the United Nations, and the United Nations passed the resolution to recognize the injustices that were done to our forefathers during the transatlantic slave. Any thoughts on that? Because on this side of the world in the US, it has sort of some mixed reviews. I was a little bit actually surprised because some of us were excited because there are 5 core points that the president, the Ghanaian president, was putting across. But for some reason, there are some people who have mixed opinions about that. Any thoughts in Germany? Because the German government, obviously, just like you said, most of us, we tend to think there's a lot of not so liking of our kind. Talk a little bit about any experiences on that front.
Thank you so much. And one thing, that's even when I was coming to the US, because California was calling me. I had worked with these guys before, deciding to settle out. The US was calling me to settle their United Kingdom was. Then I said, guys, I'm in Germany. Probably in the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be here. Then later I told them, actually, right from the onset, what are you doing there? You're kind, kind of stuff. It's Germany. I'm kind of a person, when you tell me that don't go that route, it's dangerous. I want to go there and experience it myself. Then I found myself in, German restaurants with a notebook just to get the feelings, because that's what I knew from my history teacher. Okay. And some of you guys are going to grow up, avoid Germany, avoid Ukraine, avoid Russia, all those things. Now, I come to Germany, I'm in a club, I'm in a restaurant, I go to watch football. Everywhere I am, everybody just tend to like me. I say, maybe something. Anyway, 18 years fast forward, I'm in Germany. Personally, I've never experienced racism. Racism, for instance, in the US, you see it directly. They could have it here, but they won't show it to you. And one thing which is going to shock you is like, when you talk about Hitler, you are on a train or riding a bus, discussing Hitler, police may even pull you out to warn you, we don't want to hear that name. The past years, they have been even pulling down monuments, those who are involved with Hitler. 18 years, over the weekend, you could go to the busiest streets. You could go to, I don't know, I'm not a party person. You don't see a gun, fire, or even police. They don't move with guns here. I remember one time in Berlin, pulling down some policemen. I said, there was a live music. I think some musicians from Holland and Jamaica. I said, but look at the people around here. How do you control without guns? They said, no, there are no lions, only people. So that's how peaceful this country is. Even our friends that visit me from the US, they get shocked. Even in the night, we walk 01 a.m., police would simply stop you and say, are you okay? Fine. If you need transport, we can drive you home. So these are some of the things which that most of the world do not know about Germany. So there's quite a lot. I'm coming from the educational background and later investments. I mean, I find the situation whereby free education, kindergarten means money for children. A mother, conceives within the first week of noticing a mom is pregnant, registers that pregnancy, starts getting paid. The child is getting a salary until born and reaches the age of 25. So I said, it's crazy. Yeah, free education. You are pushing your child to kindergarten, free of education. Yourself, you are going to do your PhD or whatever studies, free of charge, supported by the state. So for me, it was really amazing. So you guys, I can't believe this. I was all corners of Germany talking to principals, chancellors, and this is how we are. We just want to have, we have a lot of Americans, Canadians, Japanese. I love, some guys we work with, some lady from China, when we started working together, say, what are you doing here? Say, I'm not crazy for me to study in China, pay more tuition fees when Germany is paying for me. Maximum you can pay for bachelor up to PhD per semester. The maximum, the most expensive is $350, not $3,000, $350. So this is a country, because I'm coming. I tell them, I say, look, I told them I'm gonna stay here. I come from a country which was a colony of Great Britain. If I want to send my children or my grandchildren or my relatives to study further, I have to, in England, I've got to prepare a basket full of 200,000 pounds. Yet the same course in Germany is going to cost me, the whole bachelor, probably just 1,200 euros or dollars. Full bachelor is done, all subsidized by the German state in the 386 universities. So this is a country which is not really known out there especially English-speaking countries, and that's what made me to settle here. I love it. I cannot lie, and these guys are peaceful. They are so welcoming, so humble. But one thing that I love about this country is they say that we are coming from a situation of First World War, Second World War. We lost a lot, people died. It was rebuilt by the women folk. So a law was passed to say, if even at home, at work and stuff, somebody, starts you, don't react. Just call, report. Don't slap, don't scream. So they are so quiet people, you'd be shocked that you are maybe in a public place or in a train or in a bus. You pick a call from Zambia, then the way we respond. Everybody will simply politely look at you. They're just quiet. You're going to step somebody, a German, bump into that person. You're supposed to say sorry. He is the one saying sorry. They're just like that. That's
impressive. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Any thoughts, Twambo? Is the UK similar to what you're hearing there?
Yeah, everybody's friendly here, and at least we don't have to worry about the language.
Exactly.
How was your Germany? Do you have problems picking up the language?
No, I speak German, sure. That was a challenge when I arrived here. I said, I love this country. Everything is okay. There was one barrier, language, but I had no option to learn it because of what you achieve right here, sure.
How long did it take you to learn the language?
Because of families and stuff, I was supposed to spend like 6 months, but I spent like 1 year, sure. Language, work stuff, sure.
That's good. That's good. No, it's impressive. I think that for the police there, that's the main thing that I see very different. Because over here, the police, they are pretty much loaded. It's like a military with military gear. But I think in
Yeah,
the
you know what? When
Mhm. Yeah. So I don't know if maybe the network
when I
challenge or
see
that.
some videos in the US, how
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's military
I was
style
saying that
police.
when I watch some yeah, it's really amazing. In Germany, would you believe that I remember one time joking with some two police guys? I said, you guys, I was joking. I said, you guys, it's like here you are just laughing. There's no work. You have to go to my country, to Zambia, you know. It's just, you're just so quiet. They'll just be walking, nothing. And guess what? For instance, if you use public transport everywhere, of course, you better buy a ticket. We call it fakat. This is where, when you see police, maybe 15 police or 10 surrounding a person, not an African, anybody, you could be a German, you forgot to buy a card. They are very serious about that because public transport is one of the biggest contributors of the GDP of Germany. If you forget to buy that, they call police and everything. You know, when I came, I thought that, there's something happening here. This person just forgot to buy fakate, we call it, or bus fare, train fare.
Mhm.
Now, you are not even like protesting this just around you. What's your name? Where do you live? Give us your ID and everything. Make sure that you've got a fine, 60 euros. Make sure you go and pay at this point. If you don't pay, that's the only job I see they're doing, mainly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, street fights, quarrels, and this and that, no ways. No ways.
That's very good. Any thoughts,
Even
Mr. Katuta? I
I'm
was
just
Mr. Katuta, go ahead.
no. First of all, Evans, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for your insight. I had no idea that education was subsidized to such an extreme, if I could call it that. But I see that, and I can see why. Remember, when we were younger, there were a lot of people that were going to Germany. That's before Germany was united. They would go especially to East Germany for school. So I had no idea that the education, especially at university level, was so affordable. Obviously, unlike the US and the UK. And also to find out that the people are so friendly. You know, Germans have always, we've always thought of Germans to be, you know, macho and tough and rough. But it's good to know this is very good insight. And this is one of the reasons, Evans and Tuando, my sister, this is one of the reasons that we have this show, is to educate people so that they can hear information firsthand from people who actually live there and experiencing life, not from something they hear on social media or in tabloids. No, this is very welcoming news to me to hear that you love Germany so much that you're happy there, and the language barrier is not an hindrance, and that the people are friendly and humble enough. So that is good to know. So thank you for being on the show.
Good.
you're
Yeah.
welcome,
So
sir. Thank you.
yeah. So that's very good, Mr. Katuta. Yeah. So in the interest of time, we are running down on time. So I just wanted to hear if there are any thoughts in terms of the resolution passed by the Ghanaian president, which call for the recognition of the crimes against humanity on the African terrain. As you are aware of the transatlantic slave. Any thoughts on? Is there any feedback you're hearing there in German, Mr. Lukomana?
Really, to say the truth, from the white folks, it is quiet. You know, this is a people who don't want to involve themselves in, I know, some conflictual, issues and stuff, if I may call it that way. But from the Ghanaian folks, in fact, they are the largest community of blacks in Hamburg and Germany.
Oh.
Also, yeah, they have got. Yeah, I think something to do with tribalism and kind of stuff. Some are saying it's a good thing. Others, because they don't support that president, they're saying it's not a good thing. So it's from the Ghanaian side. I think it's just a balanced thing. Yeah, but it's in general a quiet thing here.
Mm-hmm. Twambo, do you have any thoughts on that?
I was actually quite surprised. It was, there were. I think people need to just move on, forget the past.
Okay. Mr. Katuta, any thoughts?
And I'm with Twambo here, and I get a lot of pushback from people because I believe that if we keep talking about that, we keep ourselves in a perpetual victim mentality.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, it's like we're playing victim to say we've been so victimized that, oh, help us. No, we don't need that. There were a lot of atrocities that happened, and if you go back, you start talking about this, you get into very murky waters because you look at the Jews and what they went through, and you look at the colonization of Africa and how we suffered at the hands of the colonizers. You look at the slave trade and how it's bad news everywhere. But these are things that happened 400+ years ago. So I think that Africa, especially right now, Africa, the way Africa is developing at the rate that it's developing, with all the natural resources that we have, with the infrastructure that we have in place, with people like Evans here, we have an educated society that is ready to be a first world, right? So I think we should focus on the future, because what we don't want is 300 years from now, our children still crying the same thing, reparations. We're asking people for reparations who were not there, that had nothing to do with the people that victimized everybody. Why don't we just leave that in the past, leave it in our history books? I'm not saying forget the past. I'm just saying let's leave it in the history books, and let's focus on building a future, a thriving, vibrant future for our African continent. That's my take on that.
All right. Well said, Mr. Katuta. Yeah. Anybody wants to have a follow-up or any comment?
Thank you so much, Mr. Katuta. What you've said, this is what I tell our brothers and sisters, especially from Africa in diaspora, even here in Germany, especially Ghanaians who were just brought in like that. We said, no, these whites, come on, guys, let's build Africa ourselves. If anything, there's much more damage that fellow Africans are doing to other Africans, especially in diaspora.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even back home, sometimes we've got powerful ideas, because I believe that God created man, I'm a Christian, in his own image. Yeah. But why should some images be well advantaged? Like here we're running away from food. Where you have Noah, my sister there, we are running away from putting on weight and stuff, but yet, because of too much food and something to put in the belly, yet back home, we have to think of what am I going to have for breakfast, let alone one meal per day. If Germans, America, the British, they could have good life, and the good life that we're having here, we could do it back home as well. But there's too much what I would call spanners. Instead of us fighting, like Mr. Katuta is saying, fighting the Americans about slavery, let us build ourselves. Even if the Americans or whoever slaved us, they're going to say, okay, guys, this is what we are going to give you back. $400 trillion. Where is it going to go? We don't have systems at the moment. So I concur with Jimmy Katuta.
All right.
Let us build our house. We've got too much knowledge across. We are contributing.
That's good. That's good. Well said.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much
So we're going to take a
for this program.
yeah. So thank you, Mr. Evans. So we're going to take our last break, and when we come back, we'll give our final thoughts, and then we'll be done with our program. So here's a break, and then we'll be finalizing in a few minutes. Hang in there, Twambo. All right, boys and girls, we are having a conversation looking at the events happening all around us, the Kuomboka ceremony. We had invited our Lozi friend to share some thoughts, and unfortunately, she couldn't make it. So at least we tried. We did try to get 3 Lozi people to share some thoughts, and all the 3 Lozi people were not able to make it. I was going to mention the names so that at least you can write them. You can write to them, say, hey, why didn't you come? But at least we did our part to reach out. So it's not on our part. It's our people couldn't make it. Yeah, and then we are blessed to have our 3 guests here sharing some thoughts. And now we are in our final phase of our conversation to share our final thoughts. In terms of what is happening all around us now, let's go to Mr. Evans. We greatly appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to seeing you even more on our programs going forward, because we are gathering here in this social media space to connect and just share thoughts, what is happening on your end and what is happening on my end, so that at least we can bridge the gaps and connect ourselves. So what's your message to our Zambians watching at home and across the world? What's your message to our people?
Thank you so much, Mr. Noah Glovo. My message to all that are watching is that let's get together. Our people right on the ground, in this case in Zambia and in Africa, let's cooperate with brothers and sisters right here in diaspora. We've got to really work together on the ground and us in diaspora. In the lands or the countries where really technological advancement is like nobody's business, if we put our minds together, I always say that Africa is too small to continue, wallowing in abject poverty. We can do much better. It's just the mindset and togetherness. Ubuntu. Then we can. Thank you, sir.
Well said. Well said. Twambo, any thoughts to our listeners around back in Zambia and around the world?
Let's just live in harmony, accept our circumstances. With the elections coming up, things are. How are things in Zambia with the build-up?
Great, peaceful. Things are very good, very peaceful, very civil. So yeah.
All right, so that's good. Harmony, peace, and love, and harmony. Thank you, Twambo. Mr. Katuta, your final thought.
As always, I'd like to thank Twambo and Brother Evans for coming to the show, and I'd like to encourage our listeners. You see, this show has been created, and that is why it's called Kuchalo. Basically, it means Zambia abroad. So we need to hear from you. We need to hear what matters to you. Tell us what it is that you want us to be talking about on this show, so we can communicate to the larger audience. Because ultimately, the goal is to make sure that we are in sync. Like my sister Tombo said, we are in harmony. And remember, we are the ones we've been waiting for, right? So we cannot be crying about the past. We can look at it and say, yes, things did happen, but what can we do now moving forward? But the most important thing is we want your participation, you, the listeners. We want to get questions from you. We want to hear from you. We want to know what is important to you. What are your table issues? What is it that you would like to see happen in Zambia?
Yeah, I think there was a connection failure on Mr. Katuta. Yes, so we have, I don't know if, Mr. Katuta, there was a glitch on your end.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. I think I did speak my mind, so I don't know what was heard, but ultimately, the ultimate goal is to our listeners to say, we want to hear from you. We want to contribute. We want you to contribute your thoughts. Tell us what it is that you'd like this show to talk about that is important to you. We want to talk about the table issues that matter to you. What would you like to see from the diaspora? And then the diaspora, we want to know, what would you like to see happen in Zambia? And that is my 2 cents to you. Thank you.
Well said, well said. And then we, as you can see there, we have Madam Maria. I don't know if you can say something, Madam Maria.
Good afternoon, everyone on the show, and thank you once more for this opportunity, Mr. Noah. I would have been able to contribute much better if I was in the in the right mood, but a little bit tired. But I've been following in the background. What I can say is that history helps us to shape the present, and then we look forward to a better future, without repeating the atrocities or what has been. Oh my God, I'm not a very good speaker. Excuse me. But Mr. Katuta, once more, it's me. And whenever you announce about what you would like the diaspora to take advantage of the network you have in Zambia, publicly, I would say that Mr. Evans and I, because I don't know, Mr. Evans, if you talked about ASAP, our project.
No. So what? We'll have a separate program so that at least we can have the two of you. You can go in depth.
Yes. Anyway, just to get a hands up that I would like we would like to talk to Mr. Katuta. Yeah, and I think on a separate note we can try to take advantage of what he's trying to do in the country, as you know, Zambia is at heart. Thank you.
Absolutely. I look forward to that. I look forward to that conversation.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is our show. Just like you have heard from our guests, we have people joining in from the UK, Italy, Germany, and the great country of Zambia, and of not forgetting Trump Nation. Yeah, so we have this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, just to bridge the gaps and just to keep our people informed of what is happening all around us. We touched a little bit about Kuomboka, which I've mentioned we couldn't get somebody to share some thoughts about the same, but we'll do better in future, bringing up people to be able to inform, because there could be non-Zambians who may not have any clue what a Kuomboka ceremony is, but in future we'll be able to see if we can engage others. But very grateful for Mr. Evans Lukomona and having Tuambo Chona to share some thoughts, and obviously Madam Maria, and it's always good to have you back up here. So we'll have a separate program so that at least the two of you can be able to share, because there's a lot that you are doing in the background, and a lot of our people have no clue about the big pieces that you are trying to coordinate. And I'm happy to link you guys to Mr. Katuta, who is also equally doing great things on the background in Zambia. So it would be good to see how we can connect and get things moving forward. The goal is to push Zambia in the limelight so that at least people, when they think of Africa, the only place they think of, Africa, they think of Zambia, because we have everything within our country to propel and make our country the oasis that it should be. It's a land linked, connecting all these other countries with the mineral wealth, natural resources. We have the able, capable young people who are vibrant and able to move our country in the right direction. The leadership is conducive. There isn't any instability. So Zambia is the place to be, and we're doing everything possible to encourage people to start thinking in 5-10 years from now where things are, and it's just a personal decision. So we do not tell people what to do, but we just try to give advice based on what we have seen and what we know. So with that said, we will be circling back next month, the last weekend of the month of April. We'll be able to share some thoughts about the same. And the next major competition event is coming up in June, so we'll be able to share thoughts as we get closer to that. But other than that, I just want to thank you all for taking time to be on this program, and enjoy the rest of the day, evening, morning, from wherever you are. Thank you, folks, for joining.
Thank you.
Welcome to Kuchalo, your leading online hub for Zambians at home and abroad. Kuchalo is a trusted source of news, lifestyle, and practical information tailored for Zambians near and far. What we are: a platform designed by Zambians for Zambians and friends of Zambians. Tight-knit, inclusive, and Ubuntu-powered. We bring you the latest news, travel and tourism insights, investment opportunities, educational resources, and uplifting diaspora stories. A community-focused, non-political space celebrating our heritage. What we offer: community stories, diasporans making an impact, a bias-free zone, calm, factual, resonance over sensationalism. Our approach is Ubuntu first, content that strengthens community, celebrates heritage, and brings people together. Clarity, relevance, and inclusivity. Voices from Zambia and the global Zambian family, where you'll find us: in Zambia, the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, South Africa, and everywhere in between. Kuchalo keeps you informed, connected, and inspired. Join the Kuchalo community today